They thought they had humanity figured out. They were wrong in ways that would echo across the galaxy. The Galactic Council had made a catastrophic error in judgment. They underestimated humanity not once, but twice. Their first mistake was believing humans were merely another primitive species, easy to dominate and erase. The second, and far deadlier, mistake was assuming humanity's bond with their companion animals was nothing more than sentimental weakness. Naira stood amid the wreckage of what had once been Settlement 7, her dark eyes tracking the approaching Krillian death squad through the shattered windows of an abandoned supply depot. 12 heavily armed soldiers advanced in flawless formation, their exoskeletons gleaming with adaptive armor. They had already wiped out 3 human colonies in this sector. Settlement 7 was meant to be the 4th. Beside her, completely motionless except for the faint flick of his tail, sat Ash. To any outsider, Ash looked like an ordinary Earth cat, a gray tabby with white paws and bright green eyes. The Krillians had encountered cats before during their systematic purge of human worlds. They had cataloged them as harmless companion fauna and dismissed them without a second thought. Theoxenobiologists noted the creature's small size, apparent laziness, and seemingly decorative role in human homes. They never asked why humans brought cats with them to the stars. 12. Naira whispered, more to herself than to Ash. Her fingers rested lightly on the neural interface collar around his neck, technology the Krillian scanners would register as a simple ID tag. Standard assault formation, plasma rifles, photon grenades, full tactical suite. Ash's ear twitched once. Acknowledged. The Krillian squad leader, Commander Vex, 9, raised a clawed hand, signaling his troops to halt. His translator crackled to life. Human child, surrender immediately. Resistance is futile. Your species' time in this sector has ended. Naira didn't answer. She only looked down at Ash, her expression eerily calm for a 13-year-old who had watched her home burn and her people die. The screams of her neighbors still echoed in her mind. She gave a small nod. What followed would later be dissected in military academies across human space, replayed frame by frame. In real time, it happened too fast to fully process. Ash moved. Humans had lived alongside cats for thousands of years, observing their hunting instincts, their unnatural speed, their lethal precision. A house cat could accelerate from 0 to 30 miles per hour in a single second. Their reflexes made human reaction times look sluggish. They could twist their spines midair, land from impossible heights, and strike with claws sharp enough to shred flesh. But Ash was no longer just a house cat. He was a combat asset. Feline integration program, Project CATNIP. Enhanced muscle fibers. Reinforced skeletal structure. Neural interfaces linked directly to a human handler's tactical awareness. Retractable claws forged from a molecular carbon alloy. And above all, the instincts of an apex predator refined over millions of years, now sharpened by human engineering. The Krillians never saw him coming. Ash crossed the 50 meters between the depot and the squad in under 2 seconds. The first Krillian barely registered the gray blur before Ash's claws found the vulnerable seam between helmet and armor. The monomolecular edge sliced through reinforced plating effortlessly. Purple, viscous blood sprayed across the scorched ground. Commander Vex, 9 roared orders, trying to rally his squad. But the Krillians had overlooked another crucial factor. Size. Ash was small, devastatingly so. He slipped beneath firing Orcs, darted between legs, and vanished inside their formation where their weapons couldn't track without risking friendly fire. The second and third Krillians fell within moments, tendons severed at the knees before Ash leapt upward to tear out exposed throats. Plasma rifles discharged wildly, one bolt striking a 4th soldier square in the chest. Friendly fire ended him instantly. Scatter. Defensive positions. Vex, 9 shouted, his voice stripped of confidence and replaced by something Krillians rarely felt. Fear. Scattering was a fatal mistake. Cats were ambush predators, patient, calculating, relentless. With the formation broken, Each Krillian became isolated prey. Naira watched through Ash's enhanced optics, the neural link feeding live visuals straight into her mind. She gave no commands. Years of training had synchronized them perfectly. She thought, and Ash acted. The fifth Krillian tried to take cover behind a ruined transport. Ash vaulted over it, using the wreckage as a launch point, landing on the soldier's back with crushing force. His jaws, engineered to crack Krillian armor, found the neural cluster at the base of the skull. 6 down. 6 to go. Commander Vex, 9 activated his emergency beacon, calling for orbital support. But the jamming field Naira had deployed ensured the signal died in silence. His squad was alone, being dismantled piece by piece. The 7th and 8th Krillians backed against each other, attempting to cover every angle. Ash waited atop a collapsed wall, tail swaying calmly. When one shifted his footing, just for a heartbeat, Ash struck. He went low, claws tearing through ankles, severing tendons. As the first fell, Ash used the collapsing body as a springboard, launching straight into the second's face. 9 and 10 died while trying to run. Cats could pursue too, short bursts of explosive speed. Ash caught them easily. Clean, efficient. The 11th Krillian triggered his own end. Ash herded him into unstable rubble. When the ground collapsed beneath the alien's weight, Ash was already gone. Only Commander Vex, 9, remained. He stood alone in the center of what had once been Settlement 7's main square, surrounded by the bodies of his elite squad. His weapon was raised, but his hand shook. "What are you?" he whispered through his translator. Naira stepped out of the depot. Ash padded silently at her side. She looked up at the towering alien who had destroyed her home. "You asked the wrong question," she said quietly. "You should have asked why humans brought cats to the stars. You should have wondered what kind of species partners with perfect predators and calls them family." Ash sat beside her, calmly licking purple blood from his paws. "We don't keep cats as pets," Naira continued, her voice turning cold. "We keep them as friends, as family, as partners. And now you know why that matters." Vex, 9 tightened his grip on the trigger, but Ash was already moving. The last thing the Krillian commander saw was a pair of glowing green eyes and a flash of silver claws. When a relief force arrived 3 days later, they found Naira and Ash waiting. Settlement 7 was gone, but its people had been avenged. Across the galaxy, the Krillian High Command added a new entry to their threat assessment database. Human companion species, cats. Threat level, extreme. Engage only with maximum force. Recommended action, avoid. Humanity had brought its best friends to the stars. The galaxy was only beginning to understand what that meant.